Hello, what's up, everybody? Another week and another AEW Dynamite recap is about to start. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah? What's going on this week? In the news lately, we've been hearing about this winter, this polar vortex or something going on. Have we experienced that here?
We have not actually.
As you can tell, I don't go out much, so by my super tan over here. So
Yeah,
I
weather over
did.
here is pretty much consistent.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, the times that I did go out, I did not really feel like there was any difference in the temperature here.
No,
Although they did
we
say that
lucky
we
to
were going
avoid
to get
it
it.
here. What?
They did say that we were going to experience like freezing temperatures.
Uh, okay.
But anyway, it didn't happen. But anyway, back to AEW Dynamite. So here we go. AEW Dynamite, February 17th of the year 2021. And we start off with Hangman Page and Big Money Matt Hardy versus TH2. Oh, wait, before we get to that, what did you think of the show overall? As I always ask you.
So before you get to the first match, I should preface this by saying that I missed the entire first match because Spectrum decided to shit on my side, and
We
they decided that I was no longer a subscriber of TNT.
So we actually got our first sponsor, and it was Spectrum Cable. I don't know if you know this.
Hey, all those things I just said about Spectrum, I meant in a positive light because like
You meant
Spectrum is
about
the shit.
DirecTV and Comcast?
Yeah. Like Spectrum is the shit. Like in
Yeah,
the good term, like like how bad is really good. And the Spectrum is so bad. Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. So
exactly.
you did not see this tag team match.
I came back. I was finally able to get it working again at the end, right when I guess Isaiah Cassidy was in the
Okay.
Jacksonville Jaguars mascot? I have no idea what happened, and Hangman was beefing with Hardy, and Dark Order made the save. Regardless of, I didn't see the first match, so obviously you're gonna have to pretty much, recap that whole thing. But other than that, this Dynamite was awesome. This was a really good Dynamite.
Yeah, this was
Excellent.
a very,
Yeah.
very good Dynamite. Storyline wise, it was okay, but the match quality, damn good.
Yes,
But
the
we
match
will get
quality was
but we
excellent.
will get to that. And this match was actually very good too, but on a night where a lot of other matches were incredible, this was didn't stand out as much. But this was still good. So then we got Hangman and Matt Hardy versus TH2. And at the beginning of the match, Matt and Hangman, they're working nicely as a team. And then there was one where Matt Hardy does a razor's edge into a sit out power bomb, and that's just like a regular move in the match. Like it's like a back elbow or something. It's like we'll just keep wrestling after this. Like you just did a razor's edge into a power bomb. You didn't even try to pin him. I was like, what the hell is this? Anyway, TH2 hits a top rope double stomp, belly to back suplex combo on Matt. That looked crazy. You should go back and watch that if you and go watch the recap. Evans grabs Matt from the outside, allows TH2 to take advantage. Matt hits a side effect, gets a tag into Hangman, and he runs wild. He hits a spine buster on Angelico, does his springboard clothesline onto Evans. Hangman hits a pop-up powerbomb on Angelico and catches Evans off the top rope, powerbombs Evans onto Angelico,
Holy crap.
except that he missed. Probably, I mean, I don't think it's either Hangman or Evans' fault. Like Evans just jumped and Hangman had to catch him and powerbomb him onto Angelico, but he didn't, and it kind of looked like just Jack Evans' neck hits Angelico, and it looked. I was like, oh
Ouch.
god, he looks like he's in bad shape, but he was okay. So there was some miscommunication. Hangman goes for the buckshot, but Matt gets pushed into Hangman. So TH2 hits some neckbreaker combos, do the Phoenix splash by Evans, and that gets a 2. But then Hangman comes back. He hits a buckshot onto both of them. And then Matt hits the twist of fate on Angelico for the win. This was pretty good. But what's more important is what comes after the match. So Matt is all happy because Hangman is awesome. He gets on the mic and now he says he's going to get 30% of all Hangman's earning, and he's happy that Hangman has signed with him. And Hangman says, whoa, dude. So I've got some friends who told me to always keep an extra set of papers in my jacket. and I did. So he calls Hangman calls someone from the Jags legal department to bring a copy down, and that's the Jaguar mascot. He comes down
Mm.
with the signed contract, and Hangman asks Matt to read it. And the contract is not for talent representation, but for a match at Revolution. And if Hangman wins, he gets all of Matt's earnings for the first quarter of 2021. And Matt calls Hangman a carny and pretty much says, "What the fuck?" Matt says, "Fine, you're an honorable man. Why don't you put your earnings on the line?" And Hangman says, "Oh, that's cool. We'll have a money match." And Matt says, "Cool, but now you're finished." And the Jaguar attacks Matt, and it's Isaiah Cassidy in the Jaguar costume, and Matt offers TH2 some cash to beat up Hangman. So they get back in the ring and they start beating up Hangman. And then the Dark Order comes out to save Hangman with -1 on the stage, calling the shots, telling the Dark Order to get in there. And then Hangman tries a buckshot on Matt Hardy, but he ducks and he hightails it out of there. And then Hangman and the Dark Order look at each other up and down, and Hangman celebrates. So it looks like Hangman is not done with the Dark Order because they are his true friends, in fact, which is nice.
Interesting. That's quite an angle they're doing here.
Yeah. So did you Eddie? You saw this part or no?
So I caught it right, I guess, right before the TH2 started beating up Matt. I'm sorry, beating up Hangman, and right before Hangman or Dark Order made the save, and Hangman did the buckshot or tried to do the buckshot on Matt. That's what I caught. So I saw Isaiah in the Jacksonville Jaguars costume, and I was so confused. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah,
like,
so it's kind of weird because Hangman called for the Jaguar to come out, but the
now that you mentioned that, that's even more weird.
But the Jaguar is in cahoots with Matt because it was Isaiah Cassidy. So,
yeah, which is very.
I don't know, but I guess they can kind of play it off that Matt Hardy did read the contract and he realized he was getting screwed, so he tried to double screw Hangman and have Isaiah Cassidy as the Jaguar. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because it doesn't make sense that Matt Hardy wouldn't go back to watch Dynamite and realize that the contract got switched out on him.
Very true. Very true.
So they announced that the Young Bucks and Santana Ortiz are on for later tonight. But first, Marvez is with the Inner Circle. And they mentioned that this has been their first tag team title shot in 18 months in the company. And Ortiz and Santana are fired up. But then MJF is pissed at Sammy. He says, "What the fuck? You think I'm going to record you when there's a camera on me?" And Jericho tells him to shut up. Jericho's not dumb. He says everybody knows what MJF was doing. And he wanted Jericho wanted Sammy and MJF to fight with each other and make each other better and learn to work together. But MJF learned the lesson and Sammy didn't. So now that he's quit, Jericho says Sammy is dead to him. And Santana and Ortiz will win and bring back some gold to the Inner Circle. And Hager yells, "Champions!" What do you think of this?
This was a good Inner Circle promo. They always pull off good promos, so I'm not surprised. I will say I was surprised though that this is Santana and Ortiz's first tag team title shot.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I don't know why they would lie about it. Obviously they know better than we do, but I could have swore they had at least one title shot before, but I guess I was wrong.
Apparently not. I mean, like they did mention that they lost that number 1 contenders match, so maybe that's what you're thinking about.
Maybe that's.
But yeah, I would have not guessed that they have not gotten a title shot, but I guess this was their first title shot. I don't know.
Yeah, so it was good. I like that they addressed what happened with Sammy. They didn't just try to like how sometimes wrestling just completely forgets what happened the week before.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, well that happened, but we're not even going to mention.
I like that AEW for the most part does not do that. For the most part, does not do that. They remember,
which is good.
And they also watch their own TV show to where
yes,
like,
thank
you did something, and it's like I don't know what you're talking about. It's really weird, when you've got people like on camera. And it's so blatant that they know something, but then they pretend that they don't. It's it's just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that they're, for lack of a better term, self-aware.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So FTR, the lineup for tonight: FTR is going to take on Matt and Mike Sydal. Orange Cassidy is going to take on Luther, Eddie Kingston and the boys is gonna take on the odd trio of
Yeah, I guess so. Trio.
Jon Moxley, Lance Archer, and Phoenix, and that's gonna be the main event. Why the tag team championship match is not the main event? But I mean, like, whatever. And we've got Serena versus Riho in the women's title eliminator tournament. So they recap that they did the first 4 matches on the Japan side of the AEW women's title eliminator tournament, and the winners are Yuka Sakazaki, Emi Sakura, Rei Izanami. Is it Rei or Rio Izanami, and Aja Kong? And that Rio Izanami beat Maki Ito. What the hell, man? Did you so anybody who doesn't know who Maki Ito is, go on Twitter and look for Maki Ito. And then you'll be wondering why the hell didn't she win this damn tournament? That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I was surprised. So you could bring a lot of eyes from that side to AEW.
I mean, she's got personality and charisma coming out of herself, exploding out of herself. So it's what in the world, man? I don't know. Maybe they filmed it before they realized, holy crap, this girl is gonna be super popular and awesome.
Could be, but she's been on the up and up for a while, right? Because I know I've read about her before.
I don't know anything about Japanese wrestling, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I'm sorry. Where's Beach Blaster X?
You should ask that Beach Blaster X guy. I don't know where he is, but next time you see him, go ask him. So they mentioned that Thunder Rosa has already won. They didn't mention who she beat, but we've got other matches that is coming up next week on YouTube. Is going to be Nyla Rose versus Tay Conti and Britt versus Anna Jay. So they mentioned that the opponents for the Japanese side is Yuka Sakazaki is taking on Emi Sakura, and Ryo Sakura is taking on Aja Kong. So now we've got another tournament match: Riho versus Serena Deeb, and Riho is back. Thank God. After 11 months, they mentioned that she's been gone for 11 months, and the crowd chants "Welcome back." And before we get into the whole recap, what did you think of this match?
Before I get to the match, Thunder Rosa beat Layla Hirsch last week.
Okay,
that was the first
was
round.
That a Okay?
That
I
was
totally
the first round of the tournament eliminator.
I totally blanked on that. That's right. That's right.
They didn't mention who she beat, but that was who she beat.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I do remember they had the match last week, but I don't know why it just didn't hit me that was part of the tournament.
I get it. It's odd. They should have said it. They should have said last week Thunder Rosa moved on after beating Layla Hirsch, but they completely neglected to say that. They just said Thunder Rosa's in the next spot, which is whatever. This match was great. This match was down and out. Probably the best women's match I've seen in AEW in a long time.
Long time.
And if not since the beginning. They both put on a show. This was a great match, period. Not just a women's match. They hit all the boxes. Athletic, technical, a lot of false finishes. Great match. Awesome match. Yeah.
So, for the recap, they start off with some mat wrestling. They do a lot of technical wrestling, and within the first 2 minutes, like you said, I already determined that this was the best women's match in forever in AEW. It's these two together, they could be the main event, pretty much. Yeah. These two they're that good. At least the two of them working with each other. So Riho goes for a 619. Serena catches it, counters into the catapult. And then during picture-in-picture, Riho gets beaten up, but Serena is having some knee issues, and they come back for the break. Serena is in control. Riho stops the momentum with a snapdragon a la Kenny Omega. And Serena with some uppercuts in the corner, but her knee is bothering her. Riho hits a running knee in the corner for 2. Serena lifts Riho, but her knee can't take it. Riho hits a diving crossbody. Serena rolls through, starts working on Riho's leg. Serena hits a dragon screw in the corner, and then she hits a swinging neck breaker for 2. And I thought this was the finish, and I was gonna riot. I was gonna quit the show, just quit everything in life. So Riho goes for another 619. This time she hits it, double stomp off the top while Serena is on the second ropes. Diving crossbody for 2. Excalibur mentions that the winner takes on Thunder Rosa. And at this point, I was almost starting to cheer for Serena Deeb. Because AEW, if you put Riho and Thunder Rosa in a match, and you have Thunder Rosa win, that'll be the end of it. I'm just saying. That'll be the end of it for me.
Beach Blasters no more.
No. So, where was I? Okay, so Serena hits another dragon screw, then a power bomb. She puts on the stretch muffler. Riho reverses it for a 2. A Northern Light suplex for 2. Riho goes back to the top and she hits the coup de grace for 2. But now Riho has a bad leg, so she misses her version of the running knee. Serena goes for the detox, but Riho reverses it for 2. Serena reverses that for 2, and then Riho reverses it into a ghetto clutch for the 3, and Riho wins. And this is the first time that move has been called the ghetto clutch on AEW, I think. I don't know why, but yeah.
What a name. I don't know where they get these things from, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Riho won. So all is right with the world, at least for another week. Anything else you want to add?
I'm with you. I really hope Riho moves on. I really want to see more of Riho because she's just a great wrestler. And it's been 11 months. And I've seen enough of Thunder Rosa. I swear she's had a match in every week for the last 3 months. Hasn't it seemed like that? I don't know.
I mean, she's had something. She's been on the show pretty much every week, getting her ass beat by Britt, but she hasn't been necessarily in a match.
I'm just over her. You know, it was fine when it was like a, kind of a novelty, but now that she's like a regular AEW performer, even though she's technically an NWA wrestler, it's time to move on.
No, she's an AEW wrestler, but she just has the NWA championship.
No.
Oh, no, Thunder Rosa. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Serena.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm talking about
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa, yeah.
Like, Thunder Rosa is cool and all, but I don't know. Like we said before, she just comes off as a bad stereotype for some reason.
Yeah, and it's kind of oversaturation, you know? Like, she gets more time than most AEW women wrestlers. She really does.
Yeah,
she
gets
more time than Britt. She gets more time than Big Swole, Nyla Rose.
Speaking of Big Swole, why the hell is she not in this tournament?
That's a good question too. I was thinking the same thing when they announced the brackets. I was like, she was like a top competitor. She was a top 5 contender for sure before this tournament. I don't know. Maybe she's hurt.
I guess maybe, I don't know. Maybe we got to check those rankings. So maybe she didn't make it into the top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, up next, this was something else. A video of Shaq and Jade Jade working out. But it's not really a workout video. It's just Jade playing basketball with Shaq. Shooting some hoops with Shaq. And I was like, I mean, like, there's a billion different ways to make Jade Cargill look like a badass, but it's like, I'm not going to watch somebody playing basketball and be like, holy crap, she's going to beat the crap out of Red Velvet. Like, what?
Putting up layups does not really fill me with a lot of confidence that she's some kind of badass wrestler.
I mean, if she did like a Vince Carter dunk or something, then I'd be like, oh crap, that Red Velvet, you're in for it. But you know, she's just making some jump shots and a couple layups. It's like, it's good. But the best part about this is at the end of the video, Shaq makes a free throw. And I was like, oh my god, how many takes was this? Because of course Shaq is famous for his terrible free throw percentage. Yeah. So that match is going to be on March 3rd, Shaq and Jade versus Cody and Red Velvet. So, up next, did you want to add something to this? Did you have any more thoughts?
The only thing I wanted to say was AEW is not doing a very good job of building up this match.
No, it's not. And I think there's a couple problems here. First of all, it was supposed to be Brandy, but then, you know, she got pregnant, so obviously she can't do the match. And then they had originally planned this for the Revolution pay-per-view, but then the NBA decided, you know what, we're going to have the All-Star game on that same day. So there's no way in hell Shaq's going to be able to be at Revolution while he's At the
Got
he's got commitments for the NBA All-Star game, obviously. So I think that that coupled with the fact that Jade Cargo is like some unknown and nobody, like I wouldn't say nobody, but I sure as hell haven't heard of her, and I sure as hell haven't seen her wrestle. So it's like it's not, and it's like Shaq. Like we know he's not a wrestler, so
Yeah, I don't know, man. I did read
I
though
mean
that
the
Shaq has
build is
actually been
crappy,
training.
but there's a lot of things just inherently against it as is.
So reportedly, Shaq has been training wrestling wise. So that's part of the reason that they're actually having this match to begin with. But at the same time, like, if Brandy's not available, if they can't get the date that they want, what's the hurry of getting this match done now, right? I mean,
That's true.
they couldn't hold it till the end of the year. I mean, well, let's say hypothetically Brandy's ready by the end of the year, but even if not, why couldn't they hold it for next year's Revolution, right? I don't know. So
Who the hell knows?
yeah.
Well, up next we've got Orange Cassidy versus Luther, and at the beginning, so before the match even starts, Luther pushes Chuck off the apron, and Serpentico dives onto Chuck and throws him into the stage. And I was just like, "What the hell did he do to these guys? Like, what the hell, man? Like, I felt bad for Chuck Taylor at this point. Like,
For once.
yeah, like, so Luther
Yeah.
jumps So Luther jumps Orange Cassidy at the beginning of the match, power bombs him for a 2. He rips off Orange Cassidy's shirt and he swings him by it while it's still around, like the remnants are still around his neck. Luther tries an apron pile driver, but then Orange counters it into the power bomb, gives a thumb up. Power bombs Luther off the apron to the floor, gives a thumbs up. And then Serpentico is creeping in the ring and Chuck hits him with the awful waffle. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't they just make this a tag match? Like, why couldn't it have just been Orange and Chuck versus Luther and Serpentico? Like, what's the deal? Anyway, right after that, Orange hits the orange punch and gets the 3. So there was not really much to this match, and I figured at this point it's gonna do like Miro and Kip are gonna be coming out and messing with them, but nope, nothing happened. Chuck puts the jacket on Orange, and that's it. Did you
Well,
what do you want to
so
say about this?
this is probably the weakest match of the night for sure. It was a squash match, I get it, but it was weak and it was weird. Like, why is Orange Cassidy?
Why wasn't it a tag match?
Yeah, that too. Like, why is Orange Cassidy wrestling Luthor with no build? And like you said, like, why it wasn't a tag match? Because that's what the best friends do,
I
right?
mean, it
Yeah.
lasted for 2 minutes, and Serpentico and Chuck were involved in like half of it anyway. So it's like, why didn't they just make this a tag match?
Odd. Weird. Yeah, I don't get it. And like you mentioned, I was fully expecting Miro and Kip to make an appearance at any point to start beating up Orange and Chuck, but they didn't, which is weird. So
Yeah, nothing.
yeah, before we move on, tell me about that shirt you're wearing today.
So this, I guess, when they're talking about all this, so this was another gift, by the way. So this
Okay.
is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. I guess this is the guy, huh? Like he's
He's the
apparently
guy, huh? You're the guy.
he's the guy. When they're always talking about this Kenny Omega and Okada at the Tokyo Dome. I guess this is the guy. So,
It's a
a friend of mine,
specific shirt that somebody would buy for you.
got this
Yeah.
for me. She knows I like wrestling, and so she just bought this shirt. So this is my first wrestling shirt. For this New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And they bought this New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt, knowing that you liked wrestling. A very specific Japanese wrestler.
I mean, I
that
guess
you really didn't know before this.
I mean, this dude is popular apparently, so
Mm.
I guess they figure, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to the store and buy like who's a
A
good
Dean Ambrose shirt.
No. Are you gonna go to the store and buy the jersey of the right tackle on the on the Miami Dolphins? No, you're gonna buy the Tom Brady jersey, right? So that's probably what my friend did. Went to Japan and was like, oh, these Okada shirts are like selling like hotcakes.
Oh, they went to Japan to buy it
So
too.
I better grab one.
I was gonna say that's like buying the Tom Brady of like Japan shirt.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what it is. So
okay.
like you're saying like how it's odd that I would get this shirt, but it's not because it's like he's kind of like that. I guess he's like the Tom Brady of New Japan. So you don't buy just
Interesting.
you just don't buy some rando's shirt.
Yeah.
You know,
You have really specific shirts for wrestlers and an organization and groups of that organization that you have no real knowledge
this
of
is
other
the
than what you
only.
looked up.
I have one friggin' shirt, and it was a gift, man. What do you want from me?
How many other New Japan shirts do you have? I mean, how many other Bullet Club shirts do you have?
Are
I don't
they?
know.
Are they? I told you about Bullet
Yeah.
Club. They're like the
Mhm.
Samsung of Japan. They're just like they're everywhere. They're like the DuPont of Japan. They're in everything. The General Mills. They've got a finger in every industry's pie.
Yeah.
But okay.
You're
So
suspect.
anyway, next up, something really weird. They do a recap of the Team Taz versus Darby and Sting situation, but they started off with a recap of Darby and Joey Janela match, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Odd.
what the hell does this Darby and Joey Janela match have to do with anything? But okay, but they recap that Team Taz putting Darby in the body bag and dragging him off. And so Team Taz comes out. They say they're down a few people because of the snow, which is too bad because one of those people is absolute Ricky Starks, who's absolutely awesome. And so they say, there's no better time for you to come out, Sting, and call us out. Where's the Stinger? And then Sting's music hits, and he comes out, and Taz says, "You just stepped in the ring at the worst thing you've ever done." He says, and you need that bat. So Sting tosses the bat, and he takes off his coat, and he throws the coat into Brian Cage's face, and then he starts punching Brian Cage, but then Hook goes after Sting from behind, and then Brian Cage powerbombs Sting. So, what'd you think of this?
I liked I liked it. This is the
You
first. Yeah, go ahead.
you're telling me you liked a segment where Sting got beaten up?
Let me finish.
All
All
right.
right. I liked the fact that Sting actually did something again, and he actually was beating the shit out of Brian Cage before the numbers overpowered him. So good on Sting. He's still a badass. Unfortunately, he ate a power bomb for his troubles, and I was shocked that he ate a power bomb for his troubles. Let's put
I
it that
I
way.
did not like this because if you go back and you watch Sting versus the NWO, Sting always came out on top. He beat up like 20 guys by himself, the entire NWO on his own without the bat. So, and then the other thing is he had to retire because of a bad neck. And now
Yeah,
he,
I know. He
and
took
now
a
he's
power bomb.
and now he's taking power bombs. What's going on here? I don't understand this.
Probably one of the worst moves you can do to someone's spine and neck. A power
I
bomb.
mean, like, if I was gonna take one, I would select Brian Cage because I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure he can lift me. So, you know,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. But
I
on the same
I
token,
wouldn't pick Marco to do the power bomb on me. That's for sure.
but on the same token,
Power bomb him into
you
next Tuesday, but
you gotta Brian Cage is a professional, but we just have to make sure that Brian Cage
accidents
is
do happen.
is not putting any more sauce on that power bomb other than just dropping you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Because yeah, I'm sure if Brian Cage like really wanted to, he could have power bombed him like through the
Through
through
the
the ring,
through the ring. Yeah.
So yeah.
Uh, I hope he's not hurt. He didn't look hurt, but I hope we don't
I
come
hope
out
I hope
find out
so, and
later.
I hope he doesn't do these things anymore. Like, I mean, it's Sting. He shouldn't be.
I was shocked. Yeah, I was like, he's not gonna take a power bomb, right? He's gonna get out of this, right?
No.
Oh my god, he's not gonna get out of this. Holy shit, he really took a power bomb. Wow. So
So
he's 60 years old.
is he 60? Did you look it up or something?
Yes, I did.
Speaking of shirts, what have you got on there since you're calling me out about my shit? So you've got
I
an
got the best tag
elite.
team in the world here.
So it
The
looks like
Elite.
we know who you're rooting for in this match coming up.
Not necessarily. I don't have any Santana Ortiz shirts, so.
What a stan. So we're
Yeah,
hearing
exactly.
up next we're gonna hear from Eddie Kingston and the boys, and he says he requested this match because Lance Archer's been bothering him, and Phoenix is a waste of space, and he never wanted you. He wanted his brother, but then they turned on him. and Mox is the demon he needs to get rid of most, and he can't get rid of him with drinking, with pills, or women. So he has to get rid of Mox by beating him. And what did you think of this?
It was a good Eddie Kingston promo. I like that he was able to work all three of them into the promo to talk about the fact that he's got to get rid of his demons. He kind of willed this into existence, this match. But I will say that.
So wait, before you go on. Oh no, I'll let you go. I'll let you finish. Let you go. Go ahead.
Hasn't it seemed like we've gotten some form of this match, like for the last like 5 or 6 weeks now?
Yeah.
Eddie versus Mox, Eddie versus Pac, Eddie versus Pac, and
Lance
Brothers.
Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston in a lumberjack match. Lance and Pac and Phoenix against the Butcher and the Blade. Yeah, it seems like a
running theme.
Yeah, but so Eddie Kingston relates women to drinking and taking pills. I didn't say it, but
Eddie did.
So this next part has got to be like the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Kenny Omega is at some kind of daycare or some school or something, and there's a bunch of little kids, and he's with Don Callis and Michael Nakazawa, and Alex Marvez comes in. He teleports in from whenever, and Kenny's like, "What the fuck are you doing here, man?" So Kenny is reading to the kids from his best friends, the Young Bucks book. And some kid asks if the Young Bucks are in love.
In love.
And Kenny says, well, they are brothers, so I'm sure they love each other very much. And he talks about Kenny and Jericho's match at the Tokyo Dome. And then right in the middle of that, Callis says, Uncle Kenny has to go. And the kids chant Kenny. And the kids want to play with Kenny and Don. But they say, you can play with Michael Nakazawa. And the kids say, we hate Michael Nakazawa, and they beat him up, and that was the end of it. So, I mean, is it gonna be? What would be awesome, and I would pay like $10,000 to see this: a Michael Nakazawa versus those kids match on next week's Dynamite.
No holds barred.
And yeah, and it was like a. Never mind. I'm gonna get in trouble if I keep talking about this. Never mind. But what did you think of this?
Cut the feed.
Yeah.
This was a really odd segment. You're right. It did what it needed to do, I guess. It made Kenny, Don, and Michael funny. I mean, I've always enjoyed the Alex Marvez segments where he's chasing down Kenny at any random location. I swear the next one's he's gonna show up in the middle of the night when Kenny's going to get water or something when he's trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Kenny, we need to talk about next week. What the hell, Marvez? But I don't get what it was pushing other than that. So yeah, it was weird in that regard. And it was odd, about the whole Young Bucks angle too. My best friends. I don't know. We'll see. Although there was a great line of the night from Tony afterwards.
Okay.
So we'll get to that when we get to the match, I guess. Well, actually, right before the match started, Tony said, well, they beat Nakazawa's ass. That's good. I don't know where that came from there.
I didn't know they don't like Michael Nakazawa.
Yeah, I don't either, which is weird. But those were the exact words. It's like, well, they beat Nakazawa's ass.
So, up next, we've got the AEW Tag Team title match. The Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. And Santana and Ortiz come up with the whole inner circle. And the Bucks make their entrance, and they note that Mama and Papa Buck are in the audience. And they give hugs to their parents before the match starts. So Santana and Nick started off. Bucks take the early advantage. They show that Kenny and the Good Brothers and Don Callis are in the back watching the match at a backwards 3/4 angle, just to make more fun of WWE. Santana and Ortiz do a badass suplex backbreaker combo. That was tremendous move. So MJF is trying to mess with Nick, and referee Knox kicks out the entire inner circle, and they're pissed. So back from the break, the challengers are in control on Nick, and they hit. But then he hits a super kick on Ortiz, tags in Matt. Matt runs wild. The Bucks takes control of Santana, hit an iconoclasm powerbomb combo. They look for more bang for your buck. They get countered. Santana hits a top rope Falcon Arrow, but Nick kicks out. It's like, wow. Ortiz puts Nick in a submission, kind of. It looks kind of like a yes lock, but with his like leg around his neck. So Matt breaks that up with a Macho Man diving elbow from the top, and the Young Bucks hit a Doomsday Device on Santana, a Buckle Bomb Enziguri combo, super kick party on Santana. Ortiz breaks it up. They go for the BTE trigger, but Santana ducks, and the Bucks' knees collide. Santana and Ortiz hit the street sweeper, and Matt breaks it up at like 2.9. And at this, the crowd boos because they want to see a title change. And they powerbomb Matt into the crowd. Ortiz chants, "We are the best, the best, the best," and then Nick catches him in a small package for the surprise 3 count. And that's the end of the match. So before, what happens after? What do you think of this one?
This is a great match, man. And I was in it, pretty much from beginning to end until the end. Like, I get that these things happen. You always got to wonder if there's going to be some, crazy pin finish that comes out of nowhere compared to some, dynamic finisher.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. I'm not saying that it took away from I'm not saying it ruined the match, but it kind of took away from what could have been an awesome finish, I think.
Yeah,
But,
I agree, but I think what they were trying to do is to not make the Bucks have like a decisive win over Santana and Ortiz. Whereas Santana and Ortiz can come back later. It's like, hey, you got that fluke ass 3 from that small package. That was BS. You didn't really beat us. You caught me in like some random move. So I think if anything, that's what it was. But you're right. It kind of was just like, oh, I thought there was a lot more action coming, but then it was like, oh, it's over. Okay. It was just abrupt, but I don't know.
Yeah, abrupt is a good way to put it. Kind of anticlimactic, but great match though overall. I mean, they were hitting all their moves, firing on all cylinders. Great match. I knew this would be good. Every time they wrestle each other, it's good. Oh man, I would have them wrestle each other every week.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get tired of it. They're great.
Yeah.
Great tag teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Santana and Ortiz versus the Young Bucks, can't go wrong with that. So the Inner Circle comes out and they beat down the Bucks, and Kenny and the Good Brothers are watching, and Kenny's like, we gotta go out there, and Callis is like, nah, we don't gotta go out there. But then he sends out the Good Brothers. So Brandon Cutler comes out. He eats a beautiful spine buster by Jake Hager onto the stage. And then Jericho puts on the Lion Tamer, and MJF puts on the Salt of the Earth. And the Good Brothers finally get to the ring. And Jericho goes down into the crowd, and he stares down Papa Buck. And Papa Buck pushes Jericho. It's like, ooh. I wonder if Papa Buck will be at Revolution in the crowd to get involved in some fashion. But we'll see about that. But yeah, this was really good. But man, they could have got a lot longer, I think.
Yeah, I thought so too. Man, Callis is a real slime ball though, huh?
He is the biggest slime ball.
He's so good. He's so good at what he does. One weird thing was that Kenny was like so jazzed up to go into the ring, and he never showed up, which is really odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was odd.
Maybe
he sent out the Good Brothers. Yeah, but
maybe he'll go to the ring later on.
Yeah, a little bit of foreshadowing there. So maybe
this part was the weirdest thing ever. Almost probably
night of weird things.
Probably weirder than the Kenny at the daycare thing. Brandy is on the screen and she's like, "Oh, sorry I haven't been around. We'll do the gender reveal," and like, "We'll do it now." And it's like, what? Why did they not advertise this in advance and like, make a big deal out of it? We know how Cody likes to be on TV, and make a big deal, advertise it. Maybe it'll attract some viewers that are interested, into what the Rhodes baby gender will be. So I'm just was like baffled as to why they didn't advertise this. But Cody and Brandy come out, and then they reveal that on the screen that it's a girl. They seem psyched and happy. So congratulations to Brandy and Cody. Yeah.
Yeah, best of both of them.
Do you
That's
have
awesome. Yeah, it was
anything?
odd though. You're right. No, the only thing was it was odd that they taped that opening. That why couldn't she just announce it when they came through the
Yeah.
the stage? I don't know. It's like this is a gender reveal. It's a big deal. Cody doesn't even know what it is.
Or
So
why
yeah,
didn't they advertise this? I don't
yeah.
understand. They could have like advertised this, and maybe there's got to be at least one or a couple people out there who'd be like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna make sure to watch Dynamite for the gender reveal." It's just like, "Hey, we're having the gender reveal. We're doing it now. It's a girl. Later's." I was like, "Okay."
Uh,
Yeah. So up next, we've got the FTR versus not the FTR, just FTR versus Matt and Mike Sydal, and Matt has been a wrestler for a long time, and I had no idea that Mike Sydal existed until last week when they when they announced that he's Matt, of course, the former Evan Bourne in WWE, and I think he was the one that famously got kicked out of Japan for weed.
oh, really?
Anyway, Cody is on commentary, and they mentioned that he will be in the face of the Revolution ladder match, and the winner will get a title shot at the TNT Championship. And also, so there's going to be 6 people in it, and then also announced is Scorpio Sky and Penta. So Matt and Mike start off the match, and oh no, sorry. Mike and Matt at the beginning of this match, they start the match at about 5,000 miles an hour, going crazy on FTR, jumping around, like just running circles around FTR, going crazy. But then Mike tries a monkey flip, and Cash follows him up, jumps up to the second rope with him, and hits a German suplex, and that was badass. So back from the break, the Sydal brothers are in control, and then Cash pushes Matt off a cradle, and Cash hits him with a jumping uppercut from the other side. Cash hits a nice dragon suplex hold with a bridge, but Mike breaks it up. Mike does a splash of some kind. I think he messed up because Cody on commentary says, "Oh, I don't think he
Hit him
got
with
all
a
of it."
Yeah.
So but then Cash puts his foot on the ropes. Dax trips Matt off the top. They hit a blind tag by Dax, and then they hit the big rig, and FTR gets the win. So very fast paced. Seems like their time got condensed, and they're just like, "Okay, go, 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 go!" And if you want a fast paced match, and Matt and Mike Sydal are the 2 guys for you.
Yeah. It was a pretty good match. FTR works well with everybody, and Matt Sydal is a great wrestler. First time I've ever heard of Mike or seen anything of Mike.
He was good.
He was good. I do think though that as Cody pointed out, he missed that flipping dive, and I
Yeah.
wonder if he landed on, Cash's throat there
Yeah.
with his leg. I was like, oh yeah, because you could kind of tell that Cash was like kind of feeling his face. Like, did I break something? I don't know. I could be wrong, but good match though. Good match, solid match, and hope to see more of the Sydal brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. So Doc Samson comes to the ring because like he comes to the ring after the match in every match.
After every match.
But FTR
Yeah.
takes his medical bag, and they're about to cut Mike's hair, and the lights go out, and it's like a Luchasaurus mask with the horns cut off, but then you can see him in the background, and he's got a new mask on. And then the lights come back on, and Jurassic Express are behind FTR, and they hit double spinning kicks, and Jungle Boy puts Dax in the snare trap, and Luchasaurus chokeslams Cash. So looks like the Jurassic Express and FTR are not done with each other.
Mm.
Not
I'm
done
cool with
each other.
that.
Yeah,
That'll be a good program.
they do
Yeah.
pretty good. I mean, we still haven't seen the Shatter Machine or the Spike Pile Driver onto Marco, so we can't end this feud before that happens.
He's got to take every finisher before
Yes.
before we can move on.
Yes.
Every double team move, yeah, all of them.
Yes. So next Wednesday, we've got Hangman Page versus Isaiah Cassidy. We've got the women's semifinals. We don't know who they're going to be because the matches are happening next Monday. Starks and Cage are going to take on the Varsity Blondes, and Hager is going to take on Brandon Cutler. And then they announced that on March 3rd, FTR and Tully Blanchard are going to take on Jurassic Express. Tully Blanchard in the ring, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I scratched
also,
my head like, what?
yeah. And that is the date also where the Shaq and Jade versus Cody and Red Velvet is going to take place. And then March 7th, they announced the Face of the Revolution ladder match, which we already talked about. So next, we're going to hear from Jon Moxley. Holy crap. Jon Moxley. And he says Eddie Kingston always has a stick up his ass. And he says he will whoop his ass as many times as needed. February 26th, he's going to be on New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. And he's going to break Kenta's neck. And after that, taking all you sons of bitches down in one fell swoop, he's going to take his championship back from Kenny Omega. And Kenny, you're still in my crosshairs. So another 10 out of 10 for Jon Moxley, at least from my ratings point of view. How about you?
Yeah, this was another 10 out of 10. What a great promo. I mean, he's just cut a promo for the most random shit. Even if he's not in the title picture, I just want to hear Jon Moxley's thoughts on wrestling in the world.
Yeah,
So good.
he's just the best.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So we go to the main event. And so the main event, of course, is Eddie Kingston and the boys versus Lance Archer, Jon Moxley, and Fenix. And the fight is on before the bell. And finally, when the action settles down, they have the advantage on Moxley. Excalibur mentions that Moxley and the Blade go back to their early days in Cincinnati. Did not know that. Mox tags in Archer. He does his old school butcher on. He does the old school walk the ropes thing on the butcher, and then no. Sorry, he does it with the Blade. But then Phoenix comes on, and he was going to do something. I'm assuming was going to be spectacular, but it looked like he slipped, and so he just kind of whacked the butcher with his arm. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really like curious as to what is gonna happen. I'm not gonna blame Phoenix for this one. I mean, he does like 10 moves I've never seen before every week, and no, I'm assuming he doesn't practice these moves with Lance Archer standing on the top rope. So
Yeah.
he's
With
allowed
very little
he's allowed
room for
one
error.
slip, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Very little room for error. He was like threading a needle trying to get between Archer
and the
and
butcher.
hitting the butcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was nuts. So
So back from the break, the family is in charge of Archer, which doesn't last too long. Moxley hits a diving clothesline, takes the Blade on the outside. Archer hits a double clothesline on Kingston and Eddie. He tags in Phoenix. He goes batshit nuts. He's going wild, beating the crap out of everybody. He dives onto the outside. Cutter on the Butcher. He does the Eddie Guerrero frog splash for a 2. And then Eddie catches Phoenix with an exploder. Chaos ensues. Everyone is taking everyone else out. Everybody's down. Mox and Kingston tag in and they trade blows. Enziguri by Eddie. He goes for the backhand, but misses. Phoenix hits and kicks. Phoenix hits a kick on Eddie and then a pounce by Archer. Moxley goes for the bulldog choke, but then the Blade and Butcher break it up. Archer choke slams Phoenix into a dot. So yeah, this part was crazy. They're on the apron, and Lance Archer choke slams Phoenix, and he turns it into a dive on the Butcher and the Blade on the outside. And
yeah.
at this point, I'm wondering, Lance Archer and Phoenix is like the tag team we need, but we didn't know.
I did not think of that. That is a perfect take. You're right.
Yeah.
They would be awesome together.
And then
Yeah.
right after that, Phoenix holds Butcher and the Blade for Archer to do a dive on them. And it's like, why isn't Lance Archer and Phoenix a tag team? They're like, I mean, I know you can't break up the Lucha Brothers, but holy crap, like this would be like such a good tag team. Yeah.
Actually.
So anyway, back in the ring, Mox and Eddie are going at it. Eddie hits a back fist, but then Mox just turns around, hits him with a clothesline and a paradigm shift for 3. So I guess, just one more ass whooping that Moxley has to give Eddie Kingston.
He wasn't lying.
Yep.
He stated what he was gonna do.
So that's the end of the match, and I can't help but notice that there's 4 minutes left before the top of the hour. But before we get to that, your thoughts on the match?
Man, like we said at the top of the recap, this was a night of awesome matches. This was another one. This had another match of the night contender for me, even though I'm gonna say the women take it for me overall. But this one had nonstop action, crazy moves by just about everyone involved. And Phoenix always delivers. Archer delivered crazy moves, considering, he always does, but he's 6'8", which is insane when you consider what he can do.
Yeah.
And man, like Phoenix just he always takes it to another level. Like there was one point where he literally did like 10 separate moves, jumping, kicking, diving within like a 5-second span. It was insane.
Faster than it took you to say all that, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
insane.
Yeah, great match. Awesome match. I really can't say enough about the guys involved. Uh, Phoenix and Archer would be a great tag team,
It would
though.
be
I didn't
such a
think
good
that.
tag team. Yeah, I don't
Phoenix Archer,
I don't want the Lucha Brothers to be broken up, but holy crap, that would be such a they just seem like a cool team to me.
Phoenix Archer. That should be the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just off the top of my head. I'm sure they could come up with something way better, but
Archer and Phoenix sounds like a
Archer.
like some procedural crime drama.
Yeah, sounds like some 80s
Yeah.
buddy cop comedy. Archer and Phoenix. Phoenix and Archer.
Lance Archer, Ray Phoenix. They have like the angry police captain always screaming at them.
Damn it, Phoenix. Damn it, Archer.
You got too far this time. Why aren't we writers? Anyway, after the
Yeah.
match, out come the Good Brothers, and they attack Jon Moxley from behind. And then Kenny's music hits, and he tells them to cut the music, and he has got the mic. And he says, "Oh, I've got a contract from your buddy Tony Khan, and I noticed there's a rematch clause, and that you're gonna invoke." So he's like, "You know what, Mox, you can have your rematch at Revolution, but he's talking about beating up Jon Moxley, and he says, do I have to put you in the ground? So fine, I'll put you in the ground. How about me and you in an exploding barbed wire death match? Whatever the hell that is." And he gets in Mox's face, and he by the way, Kenny is wearing shades, so he gets in Moxley's face, and Moxley headbutts Kenny, draws blood actually, but then the Good Brothers hold him, and Kenny hits a couple V triggers on Jon Moxley, and then the Good Brothers and Kenny pose at the end with the belt.
Uh,
What are you
so much
laughing at?
the Good Brothers.
That's what their name is.
uh,
Isn't that the
that
name of their tag team?
Good
The Good
Brothers.
Brothers?
Pronunciation is your friend.
The Good Brothers.
Good Brothers, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed you weren't saying that when you were talking about the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, I said the Lucha Bros.
Yeah. Okay.
They're the Good Brothers.
Good Brothers.
What's wrong with you?
Okay.
Okay, what did
Got
you think of this anyway?
it. I was totally fine with it. I knew Mox was probably not going to get away unscathed, especially considering that Kenny has,
They had 4
you know,
minutes left. There's no
has a
way
number.
Mox is not gonna get something.
I was really wondering if like Eddie would come and save him though. I don't know. Like this was
Eddie
the
was
line.
gonna save Jon Moxley?
This was the line that was like crossed. Like Eddie's like, you're right. Like he finally beat some sense into me, and we're cool.
No, if
Because
anything, it would have been like Eddie is like, no, like I'm the one who's gonna beat Jon Moxley. So get your ass out of here, Kenny Omega.
get in line, get in line.
Yeah,
John has a lot of enemies though,
he
but
does have quite a bit of enemies.
even my wife said that. It's like, wow, John has a lot of enemies. Yeah, he does. Uh, but I really did not like the announcement of the match. I I don't like the match type, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Well,
I wish it was
yeah,
just a straight up match. Or at least a no DQ at most. I don't want some gimmick match, man. I want
that
another.
is true.
Yeah.
I don't know what an exploding barbed wire death match is, and just like Tony Schiavone, he mentions like I've never been part of one. Like I've never seen one. I don't know what I've played one in Fire Pro Wrestling, so I guess maybe that's what it is. But
Yeah,
mm,
I've never actually they've never
I'm
played one in
guessing the
anything
ropes
I've
are
ever
gonna
watched.
be barbed wire, and they're gonna have like bombs and crap inside of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
I agree with you. I'd rather just see them in just a straight up wrestling match. But I guess that's the whole thing, right? Where Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley first had that lights out match, and then they had
Mm,
the straight up wrestling match that Don Callis like kind of screwed Jon Moxley in.
rigged.
So
Mm,
I guess they're not just gonna all the when they face off, they're always gonna be in a different type of match. I think that's what they're going
checking a
with
different
this.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I get it. I mean, AEW is trying to do something different. I'm sure Kenny and John will deliver a great match.
I mean, eventually they're
Uh,
gonna have to do the Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
okay.
So yeah, if you're not familiar with that, go look it up. So I can't do it justice. I
I
mean,
wish.
not
Yeah.
just you, but anybody watching. Judy Bagwell on a pole. Check it
I
out.
almost wish they had an empty arena match again, but I guess Revolution will have some people in the crowd, so yeah, they probably could do that.
Empty
Yeah.
arena match.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be good. I'm glad they finally announced the Revolution match, though. I mean, we've been talking about it for a couple weeks now. They weren't announcing who was going to be,
Yeah. So what do they
what was going to
got?
be the
They
main event.
got
Yeah.
yeah. We're just under like 2.5 weeks out from that pay-per-view too.
Mm,
Which
close, cutting it close.
so yeah, it
Uh,
looks like I'm assuming that's going to be the main event, not just because it's for the AEW Championship, but I don't know how you would follow an
yeah.
exploding barbed wire death match. I'm thinking the setup and might be a setup and tear down of that ring is gonna be a little complicated.
No doubt. Absolutely.
But yeah, that's the end of Dynamite. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
That's it, man. There's one thing. Hopefully, they flesh out next week's card a little bit more because there's nothing really on that card that's really gonna blow me away. Brandon Cutler versus Hager, Starks and Cage versus
You're
Varsity
not
Blondes.
excited for Brandon Cutler versus Jake Hager? Are you kidding me? I'm excited for that match.
Uh,
And
you're probably excited for
you're not excited to see Brian Cage get his hands on the Varsity Blondes?
fair point.
I mean,
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. They're not like, super big matches, right? They're not like, oh
yeah.
my god, like this is a dream match. I never thought I'd see this happen, but like I can't wait to see Jake Hager versus Brandon Cutler.
uh,
And I like
uh,
Brandon Cutler, but I can't wait to see Jake Hager get his hands on him.
well, if you're just talking comedic value, you do bring up a good point. So
Not
you're right about that.
it's
Let's
not
see.
comedy.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyway, anything else you want to say before we wrap this one up?
That's it. I'm good, man.
Okay, guys, that is gonna be it for us. Another recap of AEW Dynamite is in the book, so I'm sure wherever you're watching this, you'll be able to like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. So if you like it, give us one of those, and we will catch you next week. Until then, be good, stay safe, and we will see you later.
See you guys. Thanks.